Good evening and welcome to LUTV's commentary tonight of the clash between Halifax Town and Leeds United under-21s. They'll face off in the National League Cup. The inaugural edition last year saw Leeds United lift the trophy. So the 21s are back in action after losing their opening game in Group D 4-0 to Boston. They then responded with a fine result against Scunthorpe to win 3-1. They were last in action on Wednesday when winning 2-0 against Athletic Club in the Premier League International Cup. And hopefully tonight another strong performance against a National League side looking to make a point of their own. We'll start with the teams first of all. Halifax have gone with a goalkeeper of Nathaniel Thorpe, his first appearance without playing in the league this year. Then Adam Alimi Adetoro, Jamie Cook, Jevon Mills, Owen Bray, Anthony Warburton, Jack Jenkins, Jay Turner-Cooke, Owen Devonport, Oliver Smith, Thierry Latty-Fairweather. On the bench for Adam Lakeland is Samuel Johnson, William Hugill, Joshua Hmami, William Harris, Angelo Cappello and Sean Tarima. And there's a couple of ex-Leeds Academy players in there for some of our Academy fans that know all about them. Leeds United's 11 is Rory Mahady, Will Firth, Jaden Lienou, Oliver Pickles, Jacob Howard, Johnny Howson, Joshua McDonald, Alfie Cresswell, and then Jacob Brenda, Connor Douglas and Logan White. The bench for Scott Gardner is Darrell Ombang, Devon Brockie, Louis Dudley, Louis Philpott and Luke Matykiewicz, who makes an appearance on the bench today. So captains just going through their final checks. Alfie Cresswell for Leeds, Jamie Cook for Halifax. Looking at the starting 11 tonight for Halifax, they have several players, 6 in total, that have made double-figure appearances in the National League, and their bench is stacked full of experience in the National League as well. So it tells you how seriously they're taking this tie. Another young team for Leeds. Ben Parker sat alongside me as per usual, but one that showed some real promise. Logan White scored a great goal a couple of nights ago. Cresswell likewise, 2 great goals for Leeds, with Render playing up front as well. Scott Gardner rewarding the youth and giving them second opportunities to impress.
They are, and good evening to you, Hilly. Good evening to everyone tuning in. And yeah, it's become a competition which we're not excelling in terms of results, performances, but the way the growth of the players' mentality. I think that's been a key. Obviously, we knew what we did last season, and third game now in this campaign. Last time out, a great result against Scunthorpe. Really was a strong performance against a strong Scunthorpe outfit, and it's a strong Halifax outfit here tonight. Plenty of experience, as you said, in their league campaign. 2 individuals who we have seen plenty of in Leeds shirts here on LUTV. So the challenge is over to the young players to replicate what they did against Scunthorpe last time out, against Athletic Club as well. So yeah, it's important we get off to a good start, stamp our authority on the game, but can we play in correct areas as well?
So waiting for kick-off for now. Referee just doing the head count. Referee still not ready to let Leeds United get underway. Halifax in their last 5. They lost to Truro at the weekend. Before that, though, they've won 6 in 7, beating the likes of Southport, Brackley, Rochdale and Aldershot. As for Leeds, as I mentioned, beating Athletic Club. They lost to Fleetwood in the EFL Trophy, drew with West Brom, beat Norwich, also beating Sporting in the International Cup as the game finally gets underway at the Shay. The weather is slowly changing. Getting used to the weather once again in the depths of winter, where games perhaps could be called off late, but just a bit of moisture in the air today and the slick surface, they will hope will help the players get the ball down, play some attacking football, and of course unsettle goalkeepers. Douglas unable to unsettle the goalkeeper though there with a powerful cross that of course he did not intend. But it's a familiar fixture this. These two played in the game in the Cup last year. Leeds were able to get a 2-2 draw and then won on penalties on the night, which is an extra point after a draw in this competition. And that was the start of them going on their way for what was a very successful campaign. Firth in possession, waiting for a runner. Played out from Mahady to Lienou, back in the team tonight. A couple of games without an appearance for him. Into Howson, now Pickles. And the ex-Leeds players in Bray, Jenkins will have had some experience of some of these players out there today. There's a few new faces, of course, including this man here, Jaden Lienou. But always a chance for ex-players to try and impress against an old academy team. It's that extra motivation. I'm sure you'd have been the same, Ben, if that had happened in your career. If you'd have left the club early doors, it's just that extra bit of juice in the tyre for each individual.
Yeah, of course, and that's, like I said, to be expected. And in particular, Jack Jenkins, and you mentioned that midfield battle, because see the boy in possession now, Bray for Halifax Town. He's had plenty of starts, been heavily involved in, like I said, 6 wins in 7 for Halifax. Good run of form, full of confidence. Yeah, sucker punch at the weekend for them, conceding a last gasp winner in defeat. So, yeah, players, as we mentioned, they've always got a point to prove. But I think we started well, first 2.5 minutes. Always think you can have a gauge of how well we're going to settle into a game in terms of how's this tempo, how is closing down. We're trying to move the ball nice and quick, because that's when we're at its best, and we've looked to do that so far, but we've got to win the physical battle as well.
Yeah, fingers crossed Leeds can do that early doors. Putting the pressure on here is Jamie Cook, the captain, playing out wide tonight as like an attacking left midfielder. And then looking to cut in as often as he can. And Howard plays the ball wide. It was a risky pass. Needed to be brave there. Did Logan White. There was a couple of groans from the crowd, and Howard was one that certainly impressed. I know Ben was pretty chuffed with his performance today. Last week when he played. And that was a pass that looked on. I think as a teammate it might have been a glaring look from White. Bit of a risky pass in the end, but he got a free kick.
Yeah, and it's one of those passes where, as you said, looks on when you're pulling the trigger to play it, but then lands with a big red cross on in the end.
Here's Bray. Lienou trying to get across, as is Mahady. And it fizzes wide past the post, no touch from any Leeds player. And Mahady just asking the Leeds defence to sharpen up a little bit, because it was a bit too routine and easy.
Yeah, and we've seen when we play against the senior teams that you turn over possession in your own half, you're asking for trouble, because they've got the quality, they've got the speed of thought to get into the right areas, exploit where we're going to leave gaps, because we're pushing, especially as fullbacks, forward, and that's what Halifax did. Utilised Bray in a free position on their right hand side. Thankfully the shot was always drifting wide of that upright.
Pickles gets the foot in, but can only turn it into the path of Mills at centre half. Lienou claiming that the game should have been put in Leeds' favour. He comes back for a second nibble and wins the ball. That's much to Bray's surprise. Rather routine from Lienou. Seemed to be buoyed by the fact the call didn't go his way and responded in the only way he knows how.
Yeah, I don't think the linesman's brought his flag tonight, because should have been a foul, potential free kick. Tell you what, play on.
You can see the amount of water on the pitch, though. Certain passes are played. There's a bit of power needed to be played into some of these passes, as McDonald looked wide, but it's intercepted when aiming for Brockie. And again, the ball nearly getting caught. Trying to put the pressure on was Douglas, sorry, rather than Brockie, should I say. Looking at my team sheet at the same time. Here is Latty-Fairweather. Put out at the heart of defence by Adetoro. Making their way forward here, Halifax. Numbers dwindling as Cooke went towards the bar line. It's well worked by Firth, but actually Cooke's bounced off him. Managed to get into a good area. It's towards Bray. Also in the box was centre forward Devonport. It's a big opportunity as well. And sort of came from nothing really. Leeds with a 50-50. Probably thought they was going to win it, Ben. And then all of a sudden, 2 touches later, Mahady to sitting duck. Yeah,
and this is what you learn with senior football. You've got to stop the ball coming into your box because it can come in with quality like we just saw there. Outside of the foot, lovely cross. Free header inside the 6-yard box. You expect the big man to put it away, but just reaching out with his header, always stretching. Thankfully, we just get away with it.
Pickles to Lienou. It's a late run out on the flank by Logan White, which Howson thought about but decided against it. Here's Howard. McDonald was caught as he played the pass down the line, and it will be a Halifax throw. Just checking McDonald if he's okay. There's a hobble or two, and the referee will tell Halifax what to stand with this. Just as I thought McDonald was able to run this injury off, his limp is getting worse. Always feels worse, Ben, in the cold as well.
Oh, it does. I'm sure his gloves are warming him up there.
At least he doesn't have short sleeves and gloves. Defeats the objective for me. No. Although you did say this last week.
Well, yeah, we did. Only thing with Josh McDonald, he's meant to be from north of the border, and they have the extreme weather up there, so he's not acclimatised as much as you thought.
Ball played back with a good bit of pressure from Render on Nathaniel Ford, who tries to squeeze it into the midfield and does so successfully, albeit rather panicked was Turner-Cooke. Centre half Adetoro striding out from the back and floats it into the path of Devonport, who via a touch from Firth wins Halifax a throw. And you can hear Scott Garner giving out the instructions to his troops. Certainly does so when it comes defensively to the press, where he wants players to stand. They work on that so much in training, as White's back heel touch just takes him straight into traffic. Mills wasn't happy with his pass, but he gets away with it. Back to Ford. Very little happening, Ben, in terms of chances or any patterns of play. Halifax just shading things, though.
Yeah, it's just important when the ball goes long in those occasions. If we can't win the first ball, we've got to try and compete for the second ball, as thankfully the pass goes out of play for a goal kick. And yeah, Halifax was getting that little bit of joy in terms of winning the second balls, and that's enabled them to get a good field position against some dangerous areas. But thankfully so far nothing's been tested at Mahady.
Mahady urging Pickles to come short. That just offers a tiny bit more space, not too much though. Just now out from Firth. Needs to have plenty of space out wide. No rush from Mahady though as he picks out Howson. Good pass into Lienou, allows him to hit it on the front foot. Into Render. First touch takes him into Mills. He'll try and win it back. It may fall to the Leeds number 9, who's scrapping away. Little high at goal as he gets bundled to the floor. Referee says no free kick. Turner-Cooke peels the ball away and gives it out wide to Latty-Fairweather, who can stride over halfway and pick out Cooke. First real chance, Ben, to see Leeds attack, and nearly got a shot away.
Yeah, again, we just speak about Johnny Howson's, his experience, his quality. We all know what he's going to bring to this young group, but again, you learn so much, just the weight of the pass and where a receiving player wants it. And Lienou just had the pass right in front of him, stepped onto it, and that's the difference to create an extra yard to go attack, or your first touch is going back towards your centre half to rebuild on the other side. And nearly worked out for Render. Ball just got away with him though.
Yeah, it was a bit of a lesson, that wasn't it, in how to wait the pass for a wing back. It was perfect from Howson. Douglas tried to flick it on, albeit quite fancily. Gets the toe in to win Leeds a throw. Latty-Fairweather, deflection comes off his leg. Pickles shows short for the throw in for the Firth, and Leeds under pressure immediately by Warburton. Howard constantly wanting to go back to Mahady for the angle, and Leeds will now get back into their shape. Often now you see in the modern game where attacks have to start with the goalkeeper for some teams. Gives them that familiarity. Whatever Halifax are doing defensively, though, is not making Leeds engage too much in possession. A lot of it is sideways between the two centre halves. Cresswell with a rare touch in this game. He's been pretty quiet so far. Howson into Lienou. Great feet from the left back. Gets away from one. Tries their second touch. He's unlucky. Something a bit different from Leeds, but in attack now to defence as Firth has dropped in. Howard's pushed up to try and stop Devonport. There's an overlapping run coming from Warburton. Halifax haven't been able to attack with too much power as Cooke's shot comes in, but it's blocked immediately by Cresswell. Latty-Fairweather back to Adetoro. Douglas will now lead the charge up front, forcing them back to Ford. Out to Cooke. Pass applauded by the Halifax fans in attendance as Latty-Fairweather gets to the byline. The deflection off the legs of McDonald. It will be a corner.
Yeah, and Halifax are just working the ball well, get it out wide, utilising the full-backs, trying to double up in wide areas, trying to utilise that little bit of space. And it is a big pitch out there. Been to this ground plenty of times. It's not nice in pre-season when you're trying to cover all the distances, but good work by McDonald because, yeah, historically wide players attacking in an attacking sense do switch off and the defensive duties, but McDonald does so well there just to track the run.
Outswinging delivery, Devonport heads it, nearly flicked on thanks to the hand of Mahady. It's still kept at bay as Mills goes with a left-footed drive. And it's away for a goal kick, but a few more opportunities that Leeds United would not want to witness again. It's another warning sign from a high-hanging set piece, and Devonport the focal point again.
Yeah, again, if a team and an opposition just more bigger, let's put it that way, more physical, and let's be honest, most teams in this competition are going to be like that. But can you just compete for the first header? You don't have to necessarily win it, but don't allow someone to have a free jump. Can get touch tight to somebody, put them off, and then compete for the second and third phases as well.
No real desire yet from Leeds, just about 15 minutes in to try and play the pass. Howson's last one into Lienou did cut the midfield out, only for Leeds to then lose it. Here's White. Rare foray forward from him. Little nudge though from Bray, and Leeds get a free kick. I think Halifax Philly was losing his balance anyway, but when you stick the arm out at full width, it doesn't help your cause.
Yeah, this is,
in the ribs.
Yeah, and this is where you want to see the likes of White, McDonald, Douglas, when they get the ball in the final third, be nice and positive. Travel with the ball, that's your strength, that's your quality. Just never know what might happen, and we'll win a free kick in a dangerous area now.
Pickles is over it. Some late runs from Leeds. Now right underneath the goalkeeper, who just about tips it away from the on-rushing Jacob Render. The ball hung up real nice for Leeds at the far post, forcing the keeper to do something. That's going to be a set piece to Leeds.
Yeah, it just swerved at the last second, dipping towards the goal to get over the goalkeeper. Which is for the runner coming in behind.
They do. Right into the 6-yard box, headed away though by Adetoro. Good feet from Pickles, gets him away from trouble. And a wicked delivery back in, and Ford has to be alert to that one. It'll be an early save for him, which he'll be happy with. Leeds have certainly felt, though, defensively that they can get at this Halifax defence. You've seen the aggressiveness of the press. I mean, the goalkeeper making a rare appearance in the team behind the number 1. Always an opportunity to try and unsettle somebody that's just not got a feel for the game, but some early saves now have done him the world of good. Latty-Fairweather shapes the cross, but decides against it. Now back to Cooke. McDonald defending. Low drive, nearly troubling Mahady. Had it covered though. The lack of effort with his arms, Ben, tells you that Roy Mahady had that under his control.
Yeah, again, it's just showcasing the other area of the threat in terms of wide players for Halifax rolling off the line, using the overlapping fullback as a decoy, and again, it's just in terms of Leeds defensively, can a midfield player come over and fill the space? Almost willing, if you're going to hit a diagonal pass, we don't mind that, because the danger is just creating that extra pocket of space in between fullbacks, midfield players, centre halves can't go and engage, and just getting a little bit of joy at the moment with that Halifax.
Howard goes just down the line in time to Firth. Now Douglas, McDonald stayed on side, only Render. Lienou just creeping in. They've picked him out. Here is the left back trying to finish. Good save forward on the rebound off the post. 2 opportunities for Leeds to score. And the goalkeeper in the frame of the goal deny them. Well worked. Very pleasing on the eye. The way they carved them open and opened opportunities. And then just when you think it's going to be 0-1, Leeds United unable to find the back of the net. Douglas trying to squeeze it to Lienou. The attack will come to an end there, as Devonport sticks in the leg, and now Halifax will break, Ben.
Well, it's end to end at the moment, really is, but we're just cut off here for the attack. So nearly 1-0. What a move it was.
Now a ball looking for Bray all the way past the goal. Game just opening up a little bit here inside 20 minutes. Referee gives a free kick. Foul from Jaden Lienou on Bray. We can get a replay here, and it's always good when you do a commentary with an ex-left back when a left back has a shot. He didn't do much wrong, did he? Opened up his body, it's coming across him, he's got it going goalwards. I know the post is not on target. Is it the second one he should be more frustrated at?
Yeah, and that's probably the hardest one, bouncing back on a rebound on his weaker right foot. But he just gets a contact on it, and he just thinks it's going to find back of the net, but as you're seeing there, strikes the post. But the build-up play was superb down the right-hand side, just cut open Halifax.
Good punch away from Mahady. Only as far as Cooke, though, will have an effort towards goal. It's the up and under, and Mahady, bit of urgency. He's unlucky with the bounce of the ball. He'd been better off standing where he was. Try to get it underway quicker. But little to separate these two teams. They both have their opportunities. Don't think either team would say that they have massively dominated. You'd probably say Halifax have just shaded it a touch. But Leeds hitting the upright and then forcing a point-blank save suggests they've had the better of the chances. Firth to Pickles, little glance over his shoulder to pick out McDonald. Turns into traffic. Douglas and Render, the two closest to it. Douglas now puts the head down, trying to drive Halifax backwards. Sitting in midfield there was Jenkins, in a role he deployed for Leeds for several seasons in the academy pyramid. Howson, Howard pushing up, Cresswell dropping in. And it is the latter that Mahady picks out. Here's Lienou. Really comfortable on the ball, Jaden Lienou, but he's also quite strong upper body. He can just bounce people off if he needs that extra yard. Howson's a Cresswell. Douglas peeling wide to help out. Back it goes into Pickles. Well, quite routine, Ben. Nothing really jumping off the page in the last couple of minutes since those chances. Maybe the eye-catching thing for Leeds, they've started to get a bit more of the ball near halfway.
Yeah, and I think there's nothing wrong with what they're doing, just keeping possession. It's nice and patient. Very rarely they've put the ball at risk in these areas. They're just waiting for that moment, try and play through the lines. Tried to inject that bit of pace into the passing then. Didn't come off on the touch, but it's not a bad game plan just to slow the play down, keep possession, wait for Halifax to jump out of their shape, and then you've got to have the quality to find the pass, receive the pass, and then I think you've broke the high press then from Halifax. So it's a good game plan from Leeds so far.
Good challenge from Leeds, getting in early. Douglas, Jenkins steps up to try and stop him. Out to Lienou. She gets bumped off the ball. Referee says nothing wrong with that challenge and they will motor on. Ball in behind, that nearly got past Lienou, but that's some good work to stop Oliver Smith. He gets back, right place, right time, good solid interception, which was necessary because on that occasion there was a cross coming in and Leeds were under pressure.
Yeah, and Lienou's missed the last few games, hasn't he, Tom? Picked up a knock end. He's been heavily involved in the first 25 minutes of this match, getting forward at every opportunity. And he's maybe just feeling the pace of missing the last few games. You can just see him bent over there trying to catch a second breath, but had to be alert and alive defensively because Halifax were trying to get in behind him, but fair play to Lienou. He was up to the task.
Yeah, plenty in Halifax covered in the 6-yard box. As a looping ball, one that's headed home. It's a well-delivered cross. Mahady diving to his right, wasn't able to get a hand to it. Came through a crowd of bodies. And Halifax have threatened from set pieces. Wasn't just a threat though. They opened the scoring. Try to get a view on what it is. That looks like it is Devonport. Jump was higher. No real marker they're looking on a replay, Ben.
Yeah, again, far too simple. We had a warning sign from across from open play. And then we said, if you're not going to win the first header, at least challenge to make it awkward for the opposition. Yeah, and if someone's bigger than you, physical than you, as we've said, sometimes they're just going to get there first, but don't allow them to get there first unattended. You've got to have someone challenging at least. And if they still score a goal, then fair enough. They're just taller than you, but far too simple from our point of view.
Howson out to Lienou. Cresswell just about gets enough space to look out wide, and now he goes down the line to Firth, who picks up McDonald on the opposite flank to where he normally plays for Leeds on the right wing. Leeds' team are throwing. Halifax beat Middlesbrough in their only other game in the competition. They've got an extra game to play than Leeds. They were above them in the table. As it stands, they're progressing into the top two. That's where the Leeds team need to finish if they are to progress into the knockout stage and defend their title. Cooke waiting for the overlapping run from Latty-Fairweather. It's a bit too easy that for Leeds. Defensively just carve them down the left flank and no real opposition to stop them in their tracks. Here is Devonport. Carrying it forward now is Turner-Cooke. Mills. Adetoro. Pickles gets there to intercept now to Mahady. What's the key, Ben, then, with just less than 20 minutes to go for Leeds to get back in this if they need to get a goal before half-time?
Yeah, not to panic too much, and I don't think we have. We're not seeing this group do that when they have gone behind in games in recent times. So it's important we just do what we have been doing. We've done okay to certain points. It's just the crosses into the box, and of course the set piece that they scored the goal. That's where we just need to be more physical, but open play. Been more than a match so far for Halifax.
Howson floats it over the top. It's headed away pretty easily by Smith. Well, covered in midfield on that occasion by Jenkins, but Leeds have pounced on the edge of the area just as they say that. White looking for Render, can't pick him out. Nearly does at the second time of asking. Only though to get in the way is Adetoro, and Halifax bringing it clear this time with Oliver Smith, the fullback. Tries to go past White, and may find himself in trouble. It's a nice bit of skill from the fullback. Striker's challenge is what I think the response is best described as.
Yeah, I think we'll pull it down to that, and it was kind of that look to the referee to be, oh, just be kind to me. And there was.
Yeah, maybe a bit closer towards halfway, and this would have been a yellow card challenge. Here now in midfield is Turner-Cooke. Bray, perhaps a centre half for Adetoro. If you're just joining us here on LUTV, Devonport's goal is the difference between the two teams. That came from a flick on from a corner. Warburton. Devonport and Bray in the box at the far post, doesn't utilise them, but Cooke is now in possession. Here is Turner-Cooke looking for an avenue towards goal. Referee says Cresswell body checked him and it will be a free kick in a dangerous position.
Yeah, it is a dangerous position, and do Halifax go for goal direct, or do they try and use their physical superiority and try and stand up towards the back post? But either way, it's not an ideal situation at all when you're a goal down.
So Cooke is stood over the set piece. Peels away. Turner-Cooke now has a dig, and it's a good one. Mahady has to be alert, and it will be a corner.
You did well, Mahady. got himself in a good starting position, backed himself, gets across and just turns it over. But now the real danger starts from this set piece.
Cooke looking for the Mills flick on. Back to the number 10. The captain looks deeper into the area the referee blows, which Leeds were expecting earlier. And it will be, I think, a goal kick for the ball going out originally. Howard to Howson. Back across the defence to McDonald, just dropped in for another option for this Leeds defence. I wouldn't say there's a lack of urgency though, Ben, but there's been a real organisation to this Halifax team that's ensured that Leeds haven't taken a risk or two.
Yeah, and they're not jumping out of shape too much too soon. Almost they're just trying to set little traps. Almost encouraging Leeds to try and play that ball through into the middle of the park where they've got plenty of numbers of Halifax. They're hoping just to turn the ball over.
Will be a throw into Leeds, which Firth is making his way across the touchline to take. Cresswell from Mahady. Behind it goes to White. Again, the Halifax dugout. Almost that try to be a puppet master, really try to pull the team across the park as and where they need to be. Howson back to Pickles. No ability just yet for Leeds to find a gap. Cresswell looking for angles all the time. Mahady to Howard. McDonald facing the wrong way though for a player of his expertise. He wants to be on the front foot. Cresswell in a bit of space. Firth is one of the players in front of him, as is McDonald. Leeds though faced with pretty much two lines of blue players in shirts to try and navigate through. It was a case of being very quick early. Once they wasn't, Halifax had bodies back. They do have bodies back now though, as Cresswell makes a way forward, stopped by Mills. Just a little bit more momentum for Leeds there, Ben. Not too much though.
Yeah, you're right, and as much as we're saying it's okay to be patient, which, yeah, it is, sooner or later you've got to inject that bit of tempo into your passing, and even though we just played out to the full-back, it was the tempo of the pass which enabled Firth to have half a yard of space, then on the front foot, just like here again.
Ball in from Pickles, wins Leeds a corner. Pretty well dealt with by Halifax, but it's a set piece for Leeds to send some of their bigger bodies forward, although of course in this sort of competition naturally the National League team have got the extra power and height. Leeds have only committed 5. A high hanging ball to the box, they could have committed 11. It would have mattered not one bit. And I guess, Ben, from a coaching perspective. That's why they want to try and get those fine margins improved. If you are going to win some set pieces, let's try and actually put the ball in the box and use it.
Yeah, I'm surprised we haven't gone short as well on the corner kicks, because last few weeks, I'd say a large percentage have gone short, and we've looked quite dangerous in terms of after we've played it short and ball's gone straight into the box from that, or we just build up a little bit of a triangle, a little bit of possession on the edge of the box to create more of an overload. We've not utilised that option as yet.
Cresswell, Pickles, trying to return the pass. It's intercepted quickly. Back to Howson again. Douglas in a better position for him to attack. Pass intercepted when looking for White, but Leeds will get the throw. White making his way down the wing, but it's a clumsy enough challenge from fullback Oliver Smith, which will give Leeds another set piece, but they've got to improve the delivery.
No, they have improved the delivery, of course, but it's the second time White has been nice and positive and drawn a free kick into this area, and yeah, it was a clumsy challenge in the end, but that'll give White even more confidence next time he receives the pass in these sort of areas to just go at his fullback.
So Pickles has sent the signal to the rest of the team in white. Halifax lead from a goal from a set piece of their own. Can Leeds level here? So the ball a little bit better, but it's still out on the full. It's clearly been a tactic. Every set piece has been far post. The first free kick got them a corner. The last couple, though, have gone astray, and Halifax again will be pretty chuffed.
Yeah, it's just disappointing, isn't it, when you might not have too many opportunities to put a ball into the penalty area, especially from those positions. You've got to make it count.
On ball here against Cresswell. Thumped away by Howard. It'll stay in play, having rendered a chase what in the end was a lost cause. Douglas back to Pickles. Rise the challenge of a couple, but he's going to be out-muscled here. Wins a free kick for Leeds. This could be an area where they could quickly counter. That experience, though, those Halifax players. You know, Cooke 15 starts in the National League. Stands on that set piece, doesn't give anything away. White looking for a way through. Referee says no foul, and in fairness to White, he's straight back up on his feet. Frustration that as well, because he just about got away from his marker. Space had opened up for him. There's a free kick given away by Howson. And it's a sort of set piece where a striker's delighted, where he just puts his feet, plants them, waits for a bit of contact and goes to ground.
Yeah, I think with just under 5 minutes to go in the half, and it's important we just, you know, concede that second. We all know he'll battle that wood face, but to keep turning the ball over and giving, yeah, opportunities for Halifax, whether it's through free kicks as well, just to get into our half, try and push for that second goal.
Yeah, it's fair to say Leeds have just not really got into a rhythm. The bench to change that. Brockie, Dudley, Philpott, Matykiewicz. Douglas steps up and Halifax bypass him. Jenkins early doors goes wide to Latty-Fairweather. Picked out Warburton now. Back into Jenkins. Plays into the path of Mills. Cooke out to Bray. Halifax moving the ball quickly. Smith decides against the inside pass originally. Now Cooke squeezes it through to Warburton, who was a near post shot. The flag had gone up. But Halifax just mixing things up a little bit. The number 10, Cooke has been playing out wide. He dropped into the middle and they just managed to find a couple more different angles to attack. Leeds couldn't pick them up. Thankfully for Leeds, the flag goes up.
Yeah, and they just created that overload, didn't they, in the middle of the park. As you said, the wide players just drifted in offline. Didn't really sort our shape out. They had that overload, nearly, as you said, exploited that opportunity.
Yeah, Firth just gets back to keep Leeds in possession. He's encouraging them to come forward as Howson plods his way to halfway. Douglas does really well, adjusts his feet. Great use of the body weight there to just pivot away. Because of where he was, are we thinking maybe yellow card territory?
Well, it has to be a yellow card. Again, the weight of pass, that's so important. And this time we've got a player in Douglas who receives it correctly on the half turn. His first touch is in front of him to step onto. We've broken the press, but the referee didn't see the blatant free kick as a yellow card. But not been funny. He'd been straight running at the back four. Been a big opportunity that for Leeds.
Yeah, it would have, as you said, been had a, I guess, attacking influence. He was away. White tries to get forward. Halifax clear. Brought under control by Firth, only as far as Howard. Howson into Cresswell, intercepted immediately. They've pounced on him. Here's Bray. Douglas racing back. Howson unable to stop the ball getting to Warburton, but he will try and cut off the passing lane. He's done that as Johnny Howson as well. Just injected a little bit of pace when he needed to, as Cresswell picks out Douglas. Avenue for Leeds to counter-attack if they're quick enough. A minute left of this first half regulation time. Here's Firth, turned inside Cooke. McDonald asking for it in behind Pickles. I think wants him to stay further wide, which he does. Firth now the inside runner, ignored for a pass back to the Leeds number 4, Pickles. He's just playing it a touch sharper. He's giving them more of a forward glance at this Halifax defence, but yet to pull the trigger on anything too meaningful. From an attacking position, Leeds decide to reset and regroup with Cresswell and Howard exchanging a 1-2. Devonport forces Howson back. Mahady to Howard. Suspect we'll get the minute of generic stoppage time after the goal. Firth down the line to McDonald. The defence had fallen apart there. Chance this for Leeds. McDonald waits on it. Now digs it out. Deflection might help their cause. It won't. It will be a corner. A big opportunity that, and the Halifax defence. 2 of them stayed still. 2 of them pushed up. Should Leeds be level?
Yeah, I just don't think McDonald fully got his 100% option correct in terms of, does he want to go straight for goal here? Is he going to cross it? Does he really want to cut back onto his left? I just think it was just a little bit undecided in terms of what he tried to, his options were.
Yeah, Lienou to the far post, catching practice for forward with Cresswell lurking. There goes the half-time interval in the National League Cup. The difference is Devonport's goal. A header from a corner, a little flick on, which Rory Mahady could do nothing with. They've had the post though. Leeds and Lienou hit it after having a shot saved, so it's not as if they've not had their chances And with the game only 1 goal in it, there's lots of time yet for Leeds United to get back into this tie. But at the break, it is 1-0 to the hosts. Welcome back then to LUTV's coverage as Halifax Town prepare to get us back underway against Leeds United under-21s with a 1-down advantage, the hosts. After Owen Devonport's 25th minute header from a corner into the far corner past Roy Mahady. Bit of a stop-start game, not really one if you want to watch pure football, as they probably could best describe it, in terms of slick, quick passing. And it's not even going into the realms of sort of the old school elements of the game, which is further down the pyramid with physicality and crosses into the box. It was more a case of Halifax's defensive structure was so rigid, and I say that with praise, not criticism, you know, so tight to get past. Leeds weren't able to make, or even willing to make, forward passes into dangerous areas in case they got caught out. But they are going to have to change that, because if it doesn't change, they will be finding themselves on the wrong end of a result. Myself, Tom Hill and Ben Parker bringing you all the action tonight as they've gone with Mahady, Firth, Lienou, Pickles, Howard, Howson, McDonald, Cresswell, Render, Douglas, White. The bench is Ombang, Brockie, Dudley, Philpott and Matykiewicz. And Firth has got some defending to do here with Latty-Fairweather just bumping him off. And Firth has to take no risks, can't afford to foul him, so he clears for a corner kick.
Yeah, and we can't take any risks here as well in terms of being able to just defend a 6-yard box. We've seen that's where the goal came from in the first 45 minutes. Simple ball in from a corner, in swinging left. It was on that occasion out swinging left from this side, so just kind of stay strong and pick up the runners.
Yeah, post clearance from Howard. Nicely played down the line. Referee does take a look though at the linesman, and the pass to Pickles was just out of play. Pickles apologising suggests he is at fault. Here is Cooke. Squeezes it down the line and Howard gets there, pokes the ball away. There's a hobble from Latty-Fairweather. Referee just checking he's okay. It was a solid challenge from Howard. No real foul. It's just the nature of the beast when you play a physical game. Firth goes for power and clearance, looking over the top for Render, but not the sort of game where Render's going to be able to exploit this defence with long balls. I mean, he's such a young man. You can just see by the stature bend that even though Render is underrated, I think, with the ball at his feet with his back to goal, that's normally against fellow youth players, not against grown men.
Yeah, we've got to try and find a way of getting Render into the game even more, and it was difficult in the first half, just the way Halifax set up. A lot of players shielding Render from the ball, getting into his feet, or even playing him in behind. So, got to find a way to link up play with him, bring others into game from there as Render. So, it's definitely from an attacking point of view, can we just be a bit more proactive with that?
Good work from Cresswell. Bit of extra power in the challenge, only for Douglas to lose it. It's too easy, really, for Halifax, just pinching it from him. Douglas tries to make amends. Jenkins goes crossfield, tracking that all the way. Was Logan White. Here's Lienou. White is supporting pretty quickly in attack. Return pass yet to be played. Now it is. Lienou looks across. Flag stays down. Low delivery into the area, lacking in quality though. The forward ball played straight into the path of the goalkeeper. That crossbend reeked of a player that thought he wasn't onside and then just rushed it.
Yeah, it did, but the positive signs in the first 5 minutes of the second half is just been a bit more physical with 1v1 duels. Yeah, Halifax got the better of us too much. Just, I won't say wanted it more, they're just a bit more physical and just competing, and that's any give a match. It doesn't matter if it's this level, PL2, all the other competitions we do play in for under 21s, you've got to be able to compete.
Halifax in possession. Heart of defence under no real pressure into Turner-Cooke. Douglas nearest to it. Now McDonald. Corner taken short. Leeds just fallen asleep a little bit, allowing them a free effort on goal, and a curly cross in. It's deflected via the chest of Devonport. Mahady has absolutely no chance, and it might not be any easier for Devonport. Saw it late, just open up his body into the far corner, and as easy as that, Ben.
Yeah, it is. Far too easy. You said switched off. We've seen the threat from Halifax throughout the game in terms of putting the ball into the box. I think Leeds players are just catching a breather, thinking that's where the ball's going to end up, directly into the box. But Halifax been clever, been just smarter than our young players, and yeah, it's a lucky deflection in the end how the ball falls into the back of the net, but it's still 2-0.
Yeah, just looking at that again on the replay, and it's glancing header. He saw it so late, but he's done enough to turn it home. So as Ben said, Halifax 2-0 here. Plenty of work for Leeds United to do. McDonald just losing out on a late touch from him. Pushes the ball out wide. Cresswell is fouled in midfield. I do believe the fee for the goal did cut out, so they've got a second goal, and that was through Devonport again in the 52nd minute, so apologies for that. So Devonport's on a hat-trick, and Leeds currently, Ben, are facing what is a big uphill challenge because there's been a real lack of attacking output in the second half.
Yeah, again, it's very simple for Halifax to get on end of things, and I wouldn't say it's been a nothing game in terms of what we're trying to implement in terms of a style or go about our business tonight. Yeah, an element we have been honest, good challenge there by Firth, but not really offered too much of a threat apart from Lienou's chance where he's hit the post on his rebound from his initial shot. So, yeah, massive uphill task in this game. And also for the rest of the competition to get out of the group stage, because, as you were saying, earlier Halifax still got to play an extra game. So we really need to be getting something out of this if we've got any hopes of progressing, because as things stand, it's going to make it very, very difficult to progress out the group stage.
Here is Howard. And again with a powerful boot downfield. Couple of changes coming here. The first of which we'll see Pickles replaced by Brockie. Like that Leeds will switch things up because Brockie's not a holding midfielder. And William Hugill is preparing to come on, a man that's made 15 appearances in the National League, and he takes the spot of Turner-Cooke, a man that's played just 2 times less. So it's not as if things are getting easier for Leeds, Ben, when you've got a player that's played regular minutes for Halifax in the first team this season.
Yeah, but these are again the challenges we want, and the challenges that we're hoping to get. We don't want easy ones by any stretch. Yeah, if we're winning, we're on the front foot, it certainly helps. But yeah, when you're 2-0 down and we're bringing on even more experience, even more quality, yeah, we know what challenges lie ahead. But it's good to see Brockie coming onto the pitch. Probably Douglas moves a bit more deeper, as you can just see his positioning there, but it's definitely more of an attacking change.
Firth on the front foot. I was looking for try and play and render. It will eventually come back out. There's a deflection, there's a handball appeal as White thrashes it across the face. Appeal will be unheard as McDonald picks up the pieces. Uses Cresswell as a decoy for now. Gets past his man and looks for a second cross. Smith trying to stand him up. Still McDonald on his stronger right foot. Smith gets there eventually. And it's a really timely challenge is about to pull the trigger. Of Lienou now picking it across to Douglas, who would feel naturally, Ben, will go into the holding midfielder role. Good feet from Douglas. Not the best delivered from Brockie. Leeds showed a little bit of a spark, Ben. A little bit from White delivering the ball to the far post.
Yeah, and obviously with Brockie going in as the number 10, Douglas a bit deeper in behind him alongside Arthur Cresswell. Can't imagine there's going to be 2 sitters in Cresswell and Douglas. But looks like McDonald's gone out onto the left as well, White to the right. Might be another occasion where can we get McDonald on the ball in his favoured position coming in from that left.
It's one of those situations where he naturally would prefer that. He has played number 10 in the past, but a wide left midfielder is where he certainly feels to be most at home, as White flicks it round the corner to Brockie. Just wouldn't sit for him to make a first-time cross, so he keeps it for now. Couldn't go on the 1-2 with White because of an offside possibility, so he goes back and Leeds regenerate it with Firth into Howard. Back again down the wing. It's into Cresswell. Again, Halifax working so well. Just looked up there where Cresswell had the ball. That diagonal pass into midfield, there was 3 blue shirts within touching distance of Douglas. Absolutely no chance of playing it. And they really have set up well tonight of the hosts. Frustrated Leeds. 30 minutes left for Leeds' youngsters to try and showcase what they can do. And I guess first thing first, Ben, will be trying to maybe quicken it up in certain areas.
Yeah, and first half it was okay, plenty of possession in these areas, but Doesn't take a rocket scientist, does it, Tom, to know when you're 2-0 down, you've got to inject that more tempo, more belief, play more risky passes through middle of the park, just to try and create something.
Firth, too much on it, looking for Brockie. The idea was right. Could even got inside to White, but when you're not playing well, Bennett, you know, how hard is it as a youngster when things are going against you? You're 2-0 down, and you've got to make a really key pass when you're not on the ball a lot like Firth there. Is it a case of rhythm and just having that momentum you need?
Yeah, and again, it's doing the basics well, and if you see a runner going down on the right-hand side like you saw on that occasion, just think, where is the space? There's not much space in behind. That pass isn't going to be on, even if it's inch perfect. You're really going nowhere, so yeah, it's a good run. You don't have to utilise it, but that run would have created a bit more space in the middle of the park in maybe that number 10 position. But that's just knowing your options on the ball and just seeing it as the game develops as well.
Here is Howard. Back to Mahady with Howson and Howard either side. And Howard has been one of the main assets for Mahady tonight. Clearly trusts him on the ball. Goes to Firth. Render furthest forward for Leeds centrally. Firth picks him out. Lay off to Brockie. Wide to Cresswell. Further he's wide is McDonald onto his left and cuts it back. Lienou can pick up the pieces out wide. Desperate challenge from Bray. Lienou cuts to Douglas. No first time effort. He will get a second. He's rushed it out though with Mills and as well with sub Hugill. Lienou had Brockie, who just naturally as a number 10's added a bit more height and power than Douglas. Two different sort of players. Of course, Douglas by trade is a winger. Cresswell squeezes it to Lienou. Now to McDonald. This is where Leeds' flair players want to be. Good challenge from Smith. And he goes down. And it's natural, Ben, but there just seems to be a bit more urgency from Leeds.
I think it's helped with McDonald and White swapping positions, and it's just been one of those things in terms of players swapping flanks, and McDonald showing a bit of trickery, a bit of pace, a bit of directness as well. It's helping that the ball's getting to him nice and early, so well, let me continue, because we know McDonald can create something.
Good work from Cresswell, wins it back high up the pitch. It's just those key areas for Leeds to work in. First header goes the wrong way. He got the better of the jump, but Cooke actually felt he was fouled in doing so. Challenge from Cresswell and Firth. Not really sure which one the referee thought was worthy enough. There's a warning there for Firth for kicking the ball away. It's those areas that have to go Leeds' way as well, Ben, because you know they were on the front foot. Then Halifax were caught a little bit cold. If they can get those 50-50s and get the better of them with the referee not intervening, just turns the screw a little bit more, doesn't it?
Yeah, again, it's like what we said in the first half, winning your challenges, but second balls are so vital. It doesn't matter if you're playing in this competition or you're playing top-end Premier League football, because the team that wins majority of the second balls throughout a game usually come out on top. And yeah, I think Halifax have just used their experience so far in the first 64 minutes of the match, just knowing when to get on the second balls, knowing where to play, when to inject a bit of tempo, and then of course that experience from set pieces, which has undone us so far.
Into the feet of Devonport, who remains on the pitch looking for his third of the night. Into Smith, now back into the striker who's peeled away. Barely had the ball tonight. It's one of those forwards that just seems to come alive when it's in the box, and they're a rarity nowadays. A lot of teams need the forward to be good on the ball, can pass. You've just seen his pass there. I don't think it's one of his main attributes. But you can tell at this level, Ben, playing in the National League, you need that finishing now. You need height, you need power. And Leeds have been unable to replicate that, and that's natural where Leeds will not have that at the other end, because that isn't the way that the academy at the Leeds is set up currently. There isn't an option for that. Render is certainly a lot smaller in stature as White tries to pick him out. It's cleared away by Mills, only runs into the path of Brockie, tries to squeeze it to McDonald, who's caught off guard by the power of the pass. And Lienou's pass back to McDonald just goes too far in front. If anything sums up Leeds' attacking output tonight, it might be that pass. Yeah,
it does, and just not really been a threat throughout the game. A consistent threat as well, because we're getting to some decent areas, showing a couple of glimpses that we might try and create or look threatening, but it's not really works. But here we go with Firth down the right-hand side.
He tries to put the ball in. While they did, it took an immediate deflection, and now Devonport picks it up. Work from White defensively, and just, as Ben alluded to, moving those two players into opposite flanks has just given Leeds an extra boost. Falls to Firth, who, letting it go, actually gives it back to Devonport. Needed more of a shout that that wasn't an option. Lienou chasing back. Here's Cresswell. McDonald's delivery takes a deflection, well cleared and pretty easily by Adetoro. The cheap foul, Brockie's frustration, there's a lot of frustration there. Cresswell right near the touchline gives away that set piece. Just nothing seeming to be going right for Leeds at the moment. Up to Devonport. His strength, of course, is in the air, and he flicks it on. Here's Render. Back it goes to White. Douglas's first touch ends up being a pass. Here is Brockie. Into Render. Nice and patient from the young man who, I think if he'd have forced that, Ben, he might have given that ball away. So even with very minimal service, he's showing a little bit of class.
Yeah, and even though the ball's gone into him within 10-15 seconds, it's back with Rory Mahady, and Halifax will be more than pleased seeing that. So yeah, it's good that we're getting the passes more into Render, involving him like we said at the start of this half, but there's no real threat from it.
Howard back to Mahady. Halifax have just regressed a little bit. They were a lot happier to press in the first half, and rightly so. With the 2-goal cushion, they can just retreat and protect as Warburton closest to it, just making Leeds make a few passes. White rises to challenge, needs to get away from trouble, goes to ground. Latty-Fairweather wins it. Here's Devonport. Halifax encouraged to attack quickly. Leeds win it back with Douglas. And Devonport showing in possession his weakness there as Lienou takes over. Down the line to Render. It's a good pass. Render tries to round the goalkeeper. Can't slot it home. The flag was going to go up anyway. Massive opportunity for Render to hit the back of the net. Great through ball. He just set off too early, but it looked tight.
Yeah, it was tight. Right decision in the end. I think from the from the linesman, and it's the first time all game we've managed to get Render just running in behind, in between centre half and full back.
Yeah, Firth is off. Philpott is on. So they made the first change saying Will Harris, but he hasn't actually come on the pitch yet. When Bray is the other one. That makes way. I think it's Cooke that's come off first. So Cappello is also on. So yeah, Cooke is off, the captain. He's been replaced by Cappello. Harris is on for Bray. And Philpott for Firth. Those changes summarised for you with just less than 20 minutes to go. Here's Howson. Down the line to White. Opportunity here. Brockie's on his inside. White goes to ground in the penalty area. Lienou sprinted across from left back to give his opinion, one of which the referee is not interested about. Your thoughts, Ben? Did it look contentious enough?
Yeah, I certainly think the referee had a decision to make, because White does ever so well just to get ahead of the Russian defender, and there was definitely contact. Whether he was looking for it, that's probably a different question, but I tell you what, we've seen them given plenty of times over the course of a season, and I think Leeds all feel harshly done by that. They've not got the decision there, because get a penalty, put it away. Just under 20 minutes to go. You just never know with a goal in it.
And back by Jenkins. Here's Devonport. And lays it out to Cappello. First time strike forces Mahady into an early save there. No doubt about it. He had to make an intervention there. The goalkeeper, it'll be a corner.
You're always going to say if this was Mahady. Nice height for him. Don't expect keeper of Mahady's quality to get beaten at the near post.
Cappello shapes to take it short and then decides against it. Hanging ball that's not come back in play fully. So Leeds get a reprieve there and can have a goal kick. Mahady not happy at the lack of movement downfield. Into Lienou, who's pivoted inside as an inverted fullback. Now White's got a foot race to try and win with Latty-Fairweather. I mean, when the linesman doesn't give it from that distance and the referee gives it from behind and he's a lot further away, I do question why I'm sat here. It's time to give up, lads.
The frustration of players, honestly, because, as you said, the linesman's 2 yards away.
Yeah, Mahady clears. Just physics tells me that a referee cannot see from behind with the linesman not flagging. It's just impossible to see through a body. Yeah, if there's a touch.
And there's a thing called common sense, which most referees, unfortunately, this day and age, just don't apply to it. You just think, come on, get a grip. But hey, it just adds to the frustration of the game so far from a Leeds perspective.
Yeah, Lienou's touch was heavy. It's actually worked out because Halifax have run past the ball. Now he digs it out looking for White. Headed away by centre-back Adetoro. Well, one back by Lienou, who's just cutting in now as an extra midfielder, trying to help lead his cause. That'll be a corner. In fact, it won't. It's just going to stand out because it should be a corner. And they haven't given that. Been a change of heart. The referee has now given it. Again, common sense will prevail. Why is a goalkeeper running for a ball to keep it in? If it hasn't been touched by a Halifax shirt, we'll break off because here is why. Render, cut back, does not get the full connection, Cresswell, but it turned it goalwards and Nathaniel Ford tips it over. And there's just a few signs here that Leeds have just got Halifax slightly penned in. They've got to open the scoring though for themselves. So have any chance though, that was a big opportunity. We'll get Ben's thoughts in a second. Here's McDonald to Brockie. Back to Lienou. Far post, Howard's asking for it, but Lienu's passed. The second it leaves his boot, he knew that wasn't going where he wanted. It is a goal kick, and that is a massive frustration for Leeds.
Yeah, and he's better than that. He knows it. Everyone else does as well. And we've been saying midway through the match in terms of mixing the corners up, in particular, because we've seen, again, in recent games, going short a lot and getting a bit of joy from that. And that's how we created the chance for Cresswell. Just played it short. Played into the box. Halifax switched off. Cresswell wished he'd got that chance to gain, made a better connection. But we've just seen Lienou. He is playing as a midfielder now. Philpott playing at left back. What you get with Lienou, yeah, we know his pace, his quality. Hope we can just add that drive in the middle of the park.
Yeah, Brockie's fouled here in a good position for Leeds. The set piece will have to be better than the previous ones. Here's Lienou now to take this set piece. Leeds have got options with Render, Howard, Cresswell and White at the far post. Near post is Brockie. Ignored though, and it is towards the back stick. Cresswell sort of ducks out of it and just hits him on the head rather than a guided header. There's been a lack of direction from set pieces tonight, I think is a nice way of putting it.
Yeah, I think just a bit of the lack of direction you spoke about in general in the final third. Not tested the goalkeeper. Nowhere near enough as we would liked. I won't say we've run out of ideas, but we've just not really had that cutting edge where we've been its fluent best as we've seen in recent weeks.
Ball played back by Douglas. Mahady returns the pass to his number 10. Heavy touch from Cresswell, he does win it back. Brockie gets the shout that he needs to get rid of this quickly. Wins a free kick, didn't look to be much in that as Hugill is punished. Mahady ignores Howson because that's the pass he wants to play. So Philpott. Here's Cresswell. Leeds are certainly getting more joy, but the Halifax are just tiring a little. Cresswell into Brockie, waits for the outside run from Douglas, pokes it behind. Does Cappello? It'll be another Leeds corner.
Yeah, we have seen over the years, haven't we, where substitutions can alter a game, whether you're the team at making them or the opposition. The ones coming on have just not been up to speed, and I think that's the case for Halifax, and we're taking advantage so far.
McDonald, another short corner from Leeds, but see what the plan is. Douglas smashes it across the Shay, and that is yet again a set piece that lacks thought. No real rush here from Halifax as expected from the set piece. Lienou to Philpott. Ball pass back. Devonport on a hat-trick, rolls it past the goalie, slots it home on a plate. Won't get an easier hat-trick opportunity than that. And the youngster coming off the bench has played a back pass. It wasn't on target. And there it is, game, set and match. Just as Leeds have probably had their best 15 minutes.
Yeah, you're right. Just when we're looking to get a goal back to change the game. Simpler finishes for a hat-trick, really is. And from Halifax 3-0 up in the game, they've not really had to work ever so hard to get into this situation, but it's been a comfortable night's work for them.
Foul on McDonald. Cresswell takes a free kick. Leeds try to spread it wide, looking for any avenue of success. It's missed several players. That's why it puts the pressure on. Cleared away for another throw as Halifax prepare two more substitutions. And Devonport is off after a hat-trick. Also coming on is Tarima. Coming off there was Smith at right back. Into White, looking for an avenue to have a shot. Poked to the edge of the box, Render goes for it, free kick goes against Leeds, and there's just no avenue for them to build up any momentum whatsoever.
Yeah, it's been one of those nights, hasn't it, Tom? Even the moments when we feel like we're getting into a good position, the rub of the green doesn't go our way. I think it's a fair challenge. Referee gets wrong again, but when things go against you throughout the course of the match like they have done, and you've not been at the races with your quality, yeah, it just adds to the frustration.
Lienou wanted a free kick, appeals ignored. Jenkins claiming he was pushed as he hit the deck. Back to Howson now, making his way forward. Lienou, the target. He's bumped off the ball too easily by Harris, who's now got an option to go wide. He'll take the shot on Mahady. Comfortable was not the word to describe it. He was panicked. And he's complaining further forward, I'm guessing towards the referee. It was a venomous strike. Hindsight, although Harris's effort is good, is it easier for them to score if he plays the pass to either option here?
Yeah, I think from our perspective, we'd like to see him take the shot on from 20 plus yards.
Mahady made it look easy enough, but I'm sure it wasn't as he was waiting for it. As Cappello's ball in, Howard clears towards the opposite flank. Well worked by Halifax, and across the face of goal looking for a tap in. It's just about poked away by Cresswell. Flick on header from White, jumps up pretty well looking for Render. Should be easy enough this from Halifax seeing the game out. A little bit of a spark. Leeds have built up, has just gone a little bit with that third goal, and not to be a surprise that, of course, these young group, they know the game is done. Render's gone to ground here off the ball. The referee's actually giving the free kick the other way and just checking on Render. It's a stray arm that's caught him. Awkward ball for Philpott to deal with. Howson gets it away. There's a free kick gone Leeds' way. I think most players in Leeds colours, Ben Walsh, want the game to end tonight and regroup next time.
Yeah, it feels that way. Has for the last 5 or so minutes, hasn't it? And frustration with referee decisions and giving the ball away in cheap areas. Again, every element of a game just hasn't gone to plan tonight. You're going to get nights like this, though, and it's all about how can you learn for the next game? How can you enable not for these things that have gone wrong tonight to manifest themselves into a second game, third game running? So yeah, it's important we do learn from tonight.
Yeah, Brockie from Howson to Douglas. Try to steer it into Cresswell. Misplaces the pass. He was trying to force it, of course. Time is against him, looking for any avenue for an attacking shot or cross. If we're looking at positives, Ben, Logan White from the start, a young man, gets a reward for a goal off the bench the other night. Having Lienou back, there will be coaching team looking for things to try and give the players a confidence boost for next week, and there has been the odd couple, not many.
Yeah, it's about being consistent though as well in terms of your performance and what you give. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to get nights like this, of course. There's a break off here.
Yeah, Latty-Fairweather to Cappello, they'll win a corner.
But it's important you don't get too many nights like this, or when you have one good performance or have a good impact for your next game, it ends up being similar to the Halifax performance like this. So it's important you just have that consistency in your game, and that's what you want as a coach. So you're able to select your players and you know roughly what you're going to get game on game.
The header coming in, and it's a chance that for Halifax. They'll win a corner. Mahady looks as confused as anybody. Cresswell's the most perplexed. I didn't see a Leeds touch, but I mean, it takes the fringe off of the Halifax man. That wasn't on the team sheet.
What, the player or the fringe?
At least we can laugh. A minute left. Cappello prepares to take this latest set piece. There's a real desire for Halifax to crowd Mahady, unsettle him. Doesn't work that time. It's poked away by Brockie. Picked up by Brockie again. It was a cynical trip by Cappello. Yellow card worthy, to be fair, considering where he is. Referee is looking at the number, and he will pick up a yellow card, Angelo Cappello. Rather needless, considering The suspensions for later in the tournament. Stoppage time we go with Halifax pushing with Hugill out wide to Latty-Fairweather, try to get past Douglas. Cappello out-muscled by Brockie. Latty-Fairweather gets it back, it's a scrap, but Douglas comes away. Chasing it down, just a couple of minutes left for Leeds to continue plugging on with their efforts. Back into Mills, striding out of defence. Render's going to try and put him under pressure. It's a rather frustrated tackle from the youngster. And Halifax playing like they want the game to end in the next few seconds. Work for Howson to do. Flick on header goes back into Mahady. Rolls it to Howard, just for a second I think he was expecting Mahady to take control himself. But a lot to learn. Be tough for Leeds to progress in the group as well. Halifax have now got 2 wins from 2. Leeds went into this tie in 5th, but they will now be 6th due to the result. So 3 points behind Halifax. Only Gateshead left to play. White, well worked by Brockie. Returns the pass. White's on his inside. Cresswell's up there as well. Logan White just turned into traffic. Adetoro gets away. Keeps it in just in case that was going to be given as a corner. And Halifax, probably the last attack of the game from Leeds, clear their lines. Jenkins loses out. Douglas picks it up. Any urgency from Leeds to go and get a consolation. McDonald into Render. Turns away. Can't return the pass. Can keep going though. Out to Brockie. 3 in the box. Cresswell on the outside. Brockie just about gets it through. But that should be the full-time whistle, and there it will go at the Shay. A Devonport hat-trick has put Leeds United down to a 3-0 defeat in the National League Cup. The youngsters trying their very best against this National League side. Have just had too much nous, too much power and strength and finishing ability. So disappointing night for Scott Gardner's side. They've bounced back from defeats in the past. No doubt they'll do so again in the future. That's all from us here tonight on LUTV.